I remember an old League of Legends video I watched in high school, real early League, where it looked kind of grimy and unfinished, but it had charm. The video was probably on the Team Curse channel because that was the only time I ever felt any allegiance or fandom towards an esports org. But I remember somebody interviewing like a few top laners and simply asking what's the difference between a high elo and a low elo player. And normally you'd get answers like it's a difference in game knowledge or it just takes time, which are good answers, but you've heard them all before. They're expected, played out. They don't really stick because you kind of already knew those things. And the video cuts to Box. You might know him as a TFT player or contestant on the Sajam Slam, but at the time, and still in my heart, Box was the best Riven player in the world. There's still combos named after him. Truly a legendary player. Box says in that video, I won't probably ever forget this. He says, "It's a difference in the level of focus that you give to the game." Now, as a kid, I thought, well, I am giving 100%. Meanwhile, I'm in a solo queue game. I'm on Skype with my friends. They're playing Call of Duty on the Xbox, 50,000 callouts a second in my headset, or I'm listening to a podcast or something. You're not focused, man. You just are too young to realize it at the time. Then you grow up a little bit, and you're a young adult in your early 20s, whatever, and you have the same thought. Well, I am giving 100% focus. Why isn't it getting better? And you get a little bit frustrated, maybe. I got a little bit frustrated. Maybe I'm projecting onto you guys. But sometimes you really do give the 100%. You actually get there. You feel it. And you fall out of it. You fall out of that flow state. And for some people, it breathes like a little bit of hope into them. Like, oh, I'm capable of this. I can do it. I know what it feels like. I can do it. But if you're like me, you start scrambling, you start thinking, you start overthinking and desperately, ignorantly trying to cling on to anything that will get you back to that state of mind. And by doing so, you get more distant. You get further away from it than you ever were, to the point of hopelessness, which led and still leads me sometimes to very self-destructive behaviors. But now I'm 25 and I'm having a third revelation, if you will. I'm sure I'll have a fourth one when I'm 30 and a fifth one when I'm 35, but I don't know if I'll have a YouTube channel then to share it with you. And I definitely didn't have one 10 years ago when I was 15. But if I have to describe it today, I am giving 100% focus, and it kind of is getting better. Let me explain. Let me build myself up before I have to break myself down in front of you, and hopefully you can relate along the way. Since I was a kid, I've always had a good sense of focus when it came to staying on task in school, taking exams, and even work when I got a little older. I have a very fond memory of my mom picking me up from my best friend's house when I was really little, and my friend's mom telling my mom, like, hey, he's got an incredible amount of concentration when he does things. Like, you should get him involved in something. And she just believed in me. Like, she had no reason to tell my mom that unless she really meant it, right? I think about that a lot. It's just a rare, completely pure compliment from somebody who is not related to you, right? Had no reason to say that unless they really meant it. But as I've gotten older, the cracks have started to show when it comes to trying to focus on something that I really care about. If you ask me to describe my sense of focus as it stands, I would say it's kind of like a glass cannon. It's powerful, it can do damage, and I know it's capable, but as soon as it takes any form of damage or is questioned, it's over, it's done. If you relate it back to Street Fighter, imagine you get a good round start. You jump a fireball, you drive rush button and it hits, huge damage, or corner carry. You're fully locked in, you're focused, you know what to do from here. You're not even thinking, you're just moving. But then the opponent gets knocked down in the corner, and he decides to wake up with crouch medium kick and the drive rush into a side swapper. He perfect parry to your meaty and you get back thrown. Fuck. Like, son of a bitch, dude. And your focus starts to wane, you get a little angry. The glass cannon starts to crack. This happens many times throughout a match for me. For me, right? This is all about me. Maybe you feel a little bit like you relate, but it's about me. Little things like taking damage or missing your meaty timing, missing an anti-air, getting clipped by random things. My focus is constantly being tested, and I'm constantly failing, and it's getting interrupted time and time again by my need to express frustration at the mundane and normal things that are going to happen throughout a match. But over the past few days, I've gotten a lot better at identifying the triggers. I guess it's what you would call it, that break my focus, that interrupt me. I've learned not to have an outburst at them, not really think about them, and then ultimately accept it as part of the game. That's kind of the 3 steps that I had to go through, and I'm still learning, so sometimes I fail. All while like still being able to focus on what is actually going on. It's a very small victory for me, but it's led to a lot more enjoyment of my time on the game lately. That's just what I wanted to share today and hopefully help somebody. And I guess in a way it's made me feel more like a kid again.